Paul told one of the churches, he said, when you're doing this, he said, you're not the one that's bringing the reproach on yourself. He said, this reproach, he said, you're bringing it on the whole church. And every unbeliever is seeing the whole church in this false light.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons that all of this, I want to push the verses that condemn that so much, because I don't want to see that sort of reproach brought on the church.
That's right. That's right.
You got something else?
No, I mean, it's just, that idea satisfies the flesh.
It does.
Because it by extension means that if I'm not responsible for my salvation, then I'm not responsible for my sin. I'm responsible for nothing.
Yes.
And that's easy on the flesh.
Yes.
That makes it so easy
to that way when that desire to lust comes.
When I want to live in that sin, just go ahead with it.
Yep. But we're always going to make mistakes. We're always going to fail. I mean, what are you saying, brother? You perfect? And that's the mindset.
That is.
But Paul says right here, he tells us through the Spirit. Now, this is the latter part of verse 13, and then we'll go on and read 14. And if you've got anything to say about either of the two, I'll give the floor to you. But he said, but if ye, through the Spirit, do mortify, do put to death the deeds of the body, you shall live. The only way, according to what Paul's saying here, that we have life is if we put to death the deeds of the body. Now, verse 14, for as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of... Wow. Well, that don't leave any wiggle room. So, what if I'm led by my flesh?
Right.
Am I still the son of God?
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, Paul didn't add it in there if he did.
He's pretty explicit at what it takes to be the son of God.
Well, I mean, that's what I see. Yeah. I mean, as many as are led by the governing factor in my life, as long as my driver is the Spirit of God, then I'm considered a son of God.
Right.
And Paul didn't say anything about perfection.
If I'm not a son of God, what am I?
You're the son of Satan.
Yeah.
God's arch enemy.
I'm his seed.
I mean, there's only two choices in this one.
Right. Exactly right.
So, yes. All right.
Now, God said in the beginning, when he told the woman, he said, I'll put enmity between your seed and his seed. There's only two seeds mentioned.
Only two seeds.
So you're one of two seeds. You're of his seed or you're of her
enemies.
seed.
Right.
Yeah,
the enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, yes. And we know by what Revelation says, the end on both sides, them that are of God and them that are of his adversary.
Right. There's just two categories, sheep and goats. You're on one of the two.
That's exactly right.
If you're not sons of God, you're the son of the devil.
You're the son of the devil. Absolutely. I mean, that's
kind of a harsh reality to say. I mean, there's a lot of good people that's not giving their heart to the Lord. But,
right.
The thing about it is,
it's fact. I mean,
it's fact.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like God give us a gray area. I mean, he said you're either for us or you're against us.
I thoroughly believe that there'll be a lot of good people. They're just naturally good people. They give you the shirt off their back.
Absolutely.
Very charitable, good people.
Absolutely.
But if they don't accept Christ, they're going to hell. They'll be cast into that lake of fire eventually. And that's so sad, but it's just it's true.
Jesus said you must. He did not give any other option. He said you must be born again.
Nobody gets to the Father except by me, he said.
And
so there's no other way.
There's no other way.
There's no being good enough. There's no...
Right. If you try to come up any other way, you're the same as a thief and a robber.
Thief and a robber.
Yeah. I mean, he makes it very plain. And Paul's making it very clear.
Yes,
here.
he is. He is very clear.
And, he's not saying part of my way and then a little bit of your way if you want to. He's saying this is the way. Jesus said it. He said, I am the way. So that's the way we're going to have to come.
He sure did, yeah.
All right. You got something else?
No, go right ahead.
All right. Verse 15, for ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. Now, if I'm understanding this right, what he's saying here He says, "For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again." He's saying it's not like you're shedding off the flesh to be bound by the same thing again. He's saying you've been freed from that because you received the spirit of adoption, and we're actually made one with Christ.
We're adopted into that family.
Exactly, right. Whereby we cry, Abba, Father. So Paul's saying we get to go right back to the Garden of Eden, right back to that spot to where we don't have to go through a priest. We don't have to follow these processes.
Right.
It's a direct line. All you have to do is see the need and cry out, and you've got access.
Right.
So it's a direct line now.
Yes, sir.
All right, something else. All right, the Spirit itself, verse 16, the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. Now, I don't think that there's really a whole lot you can add to this other than the fact that if I'm born again, there's something inside of me that is going to drive me to strive every day to live to the best of my knowledge what this book says. Is that not what he's saying there?
Yeah, and something here, he's not saying because I feel the Spirit, I know I'm one of his.
Absolutely
That's
not.
not at all what he's saying
Feeling
here.
has nothing to do with
Right.
that.
What he's saying here is my spirit is in concordance with God's spirit.
Right.
We are in line. Just like
Yes.
Christ and God, they are one.
Yes.
We know they're
Yes.
separate, but they are one because they're of the same mind and same accord.
Absolutely.
And so when our spirit is in line with God's spirit,
We are
then
one as well.
We are children.
Absolutely. And I think there's another spot you can put the word in and just simply say, the word beareth witness with my spirit. I mean, if my life coincides with this, and if just like you said, if I'm patterned my life after this to the best of my knowledge, again, he's not saying perfection.
Right.
He's letting us know if the driver of my life is this book,
Right.
then that's the witness.
Right.
That's how
Right.
you know.
Right.
And yeah, you're right. How many cartwheels I turn, or none of that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I've got weebie-jeebies down at Neyland Stadium before watching the Tennessee Volunteers play football.
You heretic.
But I dare say that's probably wasn't the Lord that
No.
give me them weebie-jeebies
Yeah,
down there.
probably wasn't.
So, again, and of course that's a whole other study about allowing that feeling
that bearing witness, that's two spirits in line with each other.
Right. Yes. The Spirit, the Bible says there's two that bear record on earth. Spirit and the Word.
Yeah.
And it's my spirit and his spirit.
Right.
They're going to bear witness.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
So, if this is my driver, everything's okay.
That's right.
All right. You got something else? Well, you bring out some good points, brother.
I'm just hanging on for the ride.
Oh, no,
I'm just grabbed a hold of the tailgate, and that's all I can do to hang on.
If there's a button there I could hit that was a pat on the back, I'd give it to you. All right. Verse 17. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs, that's equal. Now, I know that's not very common, but is that not what he's saying there?
Brother, if you and I are in a property,
It's
I
equal.
get my portion, and you get your portion, guess what? It's an equal portion.
It's an equal
That's
portion.
called joint heirs.
Yes.
You know what that means? That is so powerful. That is something that's so overlooked.
Yes.
We're going to be made like Christ. And
Exactly
that's exactly
like
what
Christ.
Paul is talking about over in 1 Corinthians chapter 13 when he says, I will know as I'm known.
Absolutely. That's
means-
exactly what he's saying.
Yeah. Christ is, we're going to have knowledge that we've never known.
Absolutely.
If we're going to be joint heirs with Christ, we're going to know what he knows.
The Bible,
We're going to be as powerful as him.
absolutely. The Bible actually said he was the firstborn of many
Yeah,
brethren.
think about that.
That amazes me.
That amazes me too, and it's amazing how much that's looked over and never really
Exactly.
brought out.
Yeah.
Because that's so important to realize that, and it gives perspective as to, the Bible says we're going to judge angels. So that
Yeah.
means we're going to be sitting at a high level.
Absolutely.
If we make it over to that land, if we're one
Yes.
of God's children, look at how high He's going to make us. That's almost like saying we're going to be co-rulers.
Yes.
All right. So if that be true, don't that lend some, I guess, insight as to why Satan
Oh, absolutely.
hates God's creation?
Absolutely.
Because here we are, these little measly humans,
Right.
and here he is, this big angel.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And we're going to one day
Rule over him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
So
you
no
know,
wonder he's jealous. No
Right.
wonder he became arrogant and said, "Well, I'm not going to."
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Let me destroy this before this gets started.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, the book of Revelation says that we're kings and priests.
Right.
So yes, and that's why that
I mean, to
that
think
jumps
about,
out to me.
To think about Jesus coming and being that propitiation for us,
Right.
standing in for our sin. We look up to him as such a greater being, and he is. My goodness, you know. But one day,
One day,
it's not going to be that way.
it's not going to be that way. No, and
So it's not like we're just going to go up to heaven and God says, "Hey, you know, we got a
yeah.
lot out back for you."
right, which is what makes those crowns so off the wall, and those rewards. I mean, if Paul sees this, and we know over in the book of Corinthians, Paul actually talked about how that he got his revelation. It was not through man or by man, but it was actually a revelation with God or
Right.
with Jesus. And so Paul's probably pretty smart on this.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing as to how he presents himself as, you know, not by man nor through man, but by revelation. And he's making it a point right here, which I feel like he's doing this in light of what he's getting ready to start us into. But he's making it a point right here to start getting us to look through a lens that I don't think we've looked at, or some may not have looked at before. And that is, as children, he's saying we're heirs. We're subject to get the same inheritance, all of us. Heirs of God, he says. And joint heirs with Christ. He's saying the same thing God gives out, just like what you said. If you go in, your children, you know, if you equally divide your estate to your children, they're your heirs. That means each one of them gets a. So that's what he's saying God's position is. God has got something set up that he had for his son.
Right.
Now he's saying, now, because we're children, we're joint heirs with him. We're subject to an equal part
Yes.
of what his son has with Christ.
If.
Boy, ain't that
There's
amazing.
always a qualifier here.
Ain't that amazing how that just popped up right
Always a qualifier.
there. So what you don't think Paul's saying there's a guarantee of that?
No. There's no guarantee of anything here except for judgment.
Well,
You know, that's the guarantee. There's going to be judgment,
yes.
you know.
Yeah, well, and if you look at the
But he's saying if you're in me, if you suffer with me,
right,
then we're all going to be glorified together. So there's that qualifier. If. Now the guarantee is if you remain in Christ.
if you so, and in light of all the times down through here, he talked about being in the flesh, bringing death, living in the spirit, being in life, following after the spirit, the body of sin being dead because of the spirit.
Yeah.
All down through here, he's talking about the suffering of putting the flesh to death. So in light of that, now he says, if so be we suffer, or if I could put it in my words, if you're willing to die out to that flesh and allow the spirit to drive you, then that suffering will actually put you in a position to where, just like what you said, brother, you're going to be in the eyes of God the same as his son.
You know, and a lot of times we look at suffering of Christ, you know, that we're going to have to suffer with him, and we kind of get a mental picture of what that actually means. And sometimes we look at it and say, well, you know, that means we may lose our life, or we're persecuted at work, or blah, blah, blah. And that's true. And that's a very big part of it. But another way to suffer for Christ is, you know, if if I'm in trouble and I want to tell that little lie to get me out of it, that little lie will get
Absolutely.
me out of it. And I know it will if I can just tell that
Absolutely.
little lie. All right. Now, I've
But
got a
if you
choice to make.
suffer,
If I've got a choice to
Yes.
make here, if
well, that's a good point.
Yeah, boy. I mean,
Good point.
if I can tell that little lie and get out of that trouble that I'm in,
Yes.
well, I know God's going to forgive me. He'll forgive me of it. Wait a
Wow,
minute.
that's a good point, brother.
But if I truly want to suffer, because this is what Christ wants me to be, is
Right.
honest,
Yes.
then I'm just going to own up to it and say, yeah, I did it. It's my
Yeah.
fault or whatever.
Right.
And suffer that.
And suffer that.
It's not all about,
because you love truth more than yourself.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But that's an awesome point.
Yeah.
An awesome point. And that's exactly what he's saying right there, don't you think?
That's exactly what
he's saying. If you're willing to do that, look at what, and in light of what he's getting ready to start us into right here, which is another spot that the water's been muddied a whole lot. Before he gets into that, he's starting us out right here with letting us know, if you're willing to do your part, this is what God's willing to do for
Amen.
you. This is going to show you just how much the God of heaven loves you.
Yeah.
He's willing, with nothing you do on your part. I mean, there was nothing we could do to access that favor.
That's
That was
right.
Jesus Christ.
He so loved the world.
He so loved the world. Yes. Now, in light of that, in verse 18, you done?
Yeah.
Okay, in verse 18, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that shall be revealed in us. Now, it goes right back to what you just said. Paul's saying, listen, that suffering, that little bit of suffering that you're doing, if you could only see what's out yonder, and you could see what's in store for
It
you,
would be nothing.
you wouldn't
We
even
would-
hesitate.
We would laugh at these
Yes, to
sufferings.
deny your flesh and follow after
Yeah.
truth. That's
Yeah.
exactly what Paul's saying
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
He's saying, listen, church, if you could only see,
But if I could see,
then it would
what
be
he's talking,
faith.
that's exactly right. Good point.
I mean, and that's what makes
Yeah.
it so hard
That's it.
for them that's carnal minded. And then the Bible
Yeah.
said it, and I've heard you quote it, I know, on these podcasts. The carnal mind is not subject to the law of God.
Right.
The carnal mind does not understand how on earth could me believing in something that I've not seen reap such benefits.
Right.
But once you actually get to that place to where you start with that single eye, then you start to see and understand it's because God's trying to change you in a manner that you're actually revealing who He is and what He is here on this earth. Because in that light, if one son doing what He done could make such a change that He split time, what could 1,000 do?
Yeah.
What could 100,000 do?
Yeah.
I mean, think about, for lack of a better
Amen.
way of saying it, the mind of God. And remember, it all started because this image, He wanted to cover the earth with
Yeah.
this image.
Yeah.
So now He's taking us right back. He's saying, just as you said it, talking about that subject me and you won't get on. But every time God set forth a way to start spreading that image, the adversary came in
Yeah.
with the unclean,
Yeah.
the impure mixture, and he tried to dilute it. And God said, I can make that mixture pure,
Yeah.
but this is how.
Yeah.
I'll give my son. And man, look
Amen.
at it. And He's saying, if you could see, if you could allow the eyes of faith to let you see,
Right. Right.
I can spread my image.
The thing about it is, I don't even fathom heaven.
Oh, absolutely
I
not.
have no idea what it's
Absolutely
really
not.
going to be, what it's going to look
No.
like.
And don't
so
pretend that
it's
I
hard
do.
for me to get excited of an image of heaven. Now, I know
Right.
a lot of people do, and I
Right.
praise the Lord, but it's just hard for me to get excited about because I don't understand it. I have no
and I
idea
agree.
what that means. But when I look out into this world and I see how depraved it is and how hopeless it is, and God says He's got something better for me,
Yes,
if I follow His recipe, I'm in.
absolutely.
Because it's got to, if God has got something better and He says He's got something better, I believe it.
Absolutely. I agree. Well, and
I just can't in my mind really develop a picture of what what heaven's going to be. I mean,
well, I don't.
eternal joy, yeah, great. But I can't comprehend that because
Don't
I'm
picture
in
that.
this flesh.
Right.
I'm in this flesh,
Yes.
and I just can't understand what eternal joy means,
Yeah.
really. I mean, I think sometimes we try to, but do we really know what that means? I don't think so.
No. Well, and you know, and my mind always goes back, and I'm like you. You know, I've not seen a heaven, so I can't get an image in my mind of what
Right.
the heaven's going to be like.
Right.
But I have seen this old man.
Yeah.
And I have seen the time that this man right here was so lonely
Yeah.
and empty.
Yeah.
I mean, and if I could not come up with another word to describe the life that I lived, it was lonely and empty.
Yeah.
And now seeing what life is in Christ, man, that's heaven to me.
And that's all we got. That's really all we got.
That's heaven to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
really.
know, everything that we have in the flesh, our homes, our trucks, whatever, you know, all this stuff's so temporal.
For sure.
And it's going to leave here one of these days. But that's the only thing that's eternal right there.
That's the only thing.
What we have in Christ.
Yes. And that within itself is heaven.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I'm not saying there is no heaven out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
But that's the closest
but what
you can
I
come
understand, right, and know
to fathoming what
yes.
this really is. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the thing that we live for.
it's what we live for.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, you got something else?
No.
Okay. Now, so he just went over, you know, that the sufferings of this world not worthy to be compared, off the hill of us being an heir to Christ, or an heir with Christ, for the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. Now, if I understand this right, and you correct me if I'm wrong, what he's saying here is it's just a natural expectation of me to have something inside of me that desires to be clothed
Yes.
with that spiritual.
That's exactly how I take that. That
Yes.
earnest expectation
Right.
is sincere expectation.
Yes.
Yeah.
That,
There's something better.
right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. So now, for the creature was made subject to vanity, and I feel like, don't you feel like he's talking about us here?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, the creature is in light of having a creator.
Right.
So the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who has subjected the same in hope. So you know, we're subject to vanity. I mean,
Right.
that's what we see. Our life is vanity.
Mm-hmm.
So he's saying, you know, just simply the way that this was all designed and the way the fall came about in the garden, we're simply a creature of vanity because
Yes.
that's all we see. I mean, you
Yes.
know,
Because again, we're of that seed. Until we're of the seed of God, we're of the seed of the devil. And we think carnally the way the devil
right.
thinks.
Yes. And I feel like that's what he's
That's
saying
exactly.
there.
And the devil was eat up with vanity.
And he was eat up with vanity. I mean, that yes. I mean, he was vain in every way.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. Now, he's actually letting us know right here. Okay. Now, just by nature, you are subject or a creature of vanity simply because after the fall of man, you know, we took on the image of God's enemy, which was vanity. And because of that, that's just the natural way our minds work now. And in light of that, he's saying, because of the creature itself also shall be delivered. So he's saying, you know, there's something that can deliver you from this bondage that binds you to this thought process or to living this vain life or
Right.
this life of vanity.
Right.
And from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty. Now he's saying to be free from that, this glorious liberty of the children of God. He's saying when you're become a child of God, then that glory actually frees you. And that word glory there again is another one of them spots to where it's any made known or manifest attribute of God. So
Right.
he's saying that us actually manifesting who God is actually what delivers us from that.
Right.
Because we're living from a place that we're not driven by vanity and vain things, but we're driven by something that's eternal.
Right.
Don't you think that's what he's
exactly
saying?
right. That's well said. That's exactly right.
So there's the shift. Now, from being driven by vanity to now we're driven by something that's so much more stable or a firm foundation, is what he's saying there. In verse 22, for we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. Now, if I'm understanding that right, what I could say in my words that Paul's saying right here is all of the pain and anguish that you go through is nothing more than an outward manifestation of something missing inwardly.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just seeking something that's not there because you were created in the image of God, and when man fell, he lost that image, and there's something missing in him, and he's continually groaning to fulfill that.
The whole creation.
The whole creation.
And that's not just, and I look at it, it's not just the lost, but the
Right.
saved as well, because
Right.
we're groaning for that.
Right.
We're strangers and
To be
pilgrims here.
clothed.
Yeah, we're looking for that better
Yes.
land. They're still looking for the answer. They're
Yes.
still looking for the solution.
Yes.
We found the solution.
Right.
Our groaning is for that
Right.
better land that we know is
Absolutely.
waiting on us.
Absolutely.
So that's how the whole creation groans together.
Right. Absolutely. Very well said. Yes. And that's exactly what he's saying there. Don't you think that's what he's
Yeah.
saying through all of that?
Yeah.
So, in verse 23, and not only they, but ourselves, there goes exactly
Yeah.
what you just said.
Yeah.
But ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves grown within ourselves. Here it is. He's telling just what you just said, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. Or he's, again, exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Even the believer is groaning because he's wanting to see that
Right.
adopt. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
That change. I'm wanting to be there.
That one that Paul's talking about over there, that in 1 Corinthians 15, that moment, the twinkling of an eye, we should
Right.
be changed,
Changed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mortality, mortal must put on
Yes.
immortality.
This mortal must put on immortality.
That's-
This corruptible
and that-
must put on
that's
incorruption.
what we're waiting on, is
That's
that.
what we're waiting on. And all of this he said in light of what we talked about in verse 17. We're actually understanding that we're going to be a joint heir with Christ.
Right.
So that in itself, man, boy, I'm groaning. I want to be there.
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah.
right there with that. Yes.
And the lost groan when they seek to fulfill their needs through the lust of the flesh,
Right.
the beer joints, the whatever. That's them. That's their groaning. That's their inner groaning.
Yes.
Because I'm looking for something. I need something. I know there's
Yes.
something that I need, and this is
I
how
don't have. Let me
this-
go down this avenue to
This is
find it.
how I seek that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or just like the woman at the well. And Jesus made it very clear with her. He said, you drink this water, you're going to thirst again. But if you'll drink the water that I'm giving you, and he told her, but I feel like he explained to her what he was talking about the water she was drinking, in that he told her, he said, well, you rightly said. He said, go get your husband, come back. Because she said, give me a drink of this water. He said, well, go get your husband.
Yeah.
Well, why did he say that? Because he was wanting to let her know the avenue you're going down to get your thirst quenched is marrying many men. You think a man is going to quench that thirst. It's not going to happen. So rather than condemning her and saying, well, lady, I would, but you've been married half a dozen times, like a lot of people would do today.
Right. Yeah.
He looks at her and he says, go get your husband. He knew what that was
Oh,
going to
of course.
spark.
Yeah.
And she said, well, I don't have a husband. You've rightly said you've had 5, and the one you now have is not your own.
Right.
And all of a sudden, the light switch came on. And she said,
Wow.
I see. I've been trying to find my validation or get my thirst quenched from another man when the man's here.
Right.
And instantly she says, come and see a man.
Yeah.
And
Do you know what this little phrase "to wit" means? There's a little phrase here called "to
Yeah.
wit," and that's interesting because you don't hardly ever see that.
no.
Now you will see it today in legal documents of some type, and all that means is to clarify.